Hey everybody, this is Mike coming at you from the Carolina coast. I'm here at an island, well, it's called Carolina Beach. There's actually Curie Beach and Fort Fisher also, which is named after an old Confederate fort. I'm flying over what they call a cut. Along the North Carolina coast, the Intercoastal Waterway will connect with rivers, canals, and streams, and they'll have little branches that'll branch off to the Atlantic. They call them cuts. This one in particular here is called Snow's Cut. The big ships don't use it. Too many tight turns. The depth is okay. It's just hard to turn on big giant ships, and there was too many tight turns here for them. But a lot of the charter ships and just the rich people with yachts will use this waterway. You can see it'll just be one boat after another. And they go out and fish in the Gulf Stream, which is a pretty good haul. It's a 3-hour ride out to the Gulf Stream, but there's dozens of wrecks out there that they'll fish over and catch bottom fish, grouper, snapper, the really good eating bottom fish. Right here, I'm getting ready to fly over these $1 million homes. Well, they're more than $1 million, but in my previous video, I got a good close-up of these for people to look at. A lot of them have little crow's nests on the roof where they can sit there and drink their morning coffee and look out. Wouldn't that be the life? And it's pretty close to the end of the island. You'll see the landscape's really wild looking. It's just a lot of marsh. Every time there's a major storm or a hurricane, though, it'll reshape the tip of this island quite a bit. You can see there's a lot of standing water, and that's the Atlantic over there on the other side. Yeah, it's wild looking. And I'll tell you one thing, you haven't seen mosquitoes until you're around one of these marshes at night. If you didn't have mosquito repellent on, they'd suck a pint of blood out of you in an hour. There's so many, you can put mosquito repellent on and they'll bounce off of you, trying to find a spot to land. When I flew over there and flew back out, I could see a dredge coming. I'd actually seen it earlier. Down on a different part of the island. What they were doing is they were sucking sand out. They were pretty good ways out, sucking sand off the bottom, and it was hooked up to this pipe. I mean, that pipe looked like it must have been a mile long, and it was connected to this pickup truck, and he was shooting sand up and down the beach. Storm comes or something like that, a lot of the sand will get eroded away, so they were building the beaches back up. And I could see several people just walking around looking for shells behind them. It's hard to find shells on the Atlantic, along the water's edge. They get all crushed up. It's not like being on the Gulf of Mexico where you could swim out to a sandbar and pick up sand dollars and conch shells and everything else you could dream of finding. You can find some, like after a major storm, but they're really hard to find shells on just a normal day. So they were all hyped up about that dredge shooting that sand off the bottom. They were finding quite a bit. These piers here on the left, you can see how long they are. They have to build up over the marsh to get up out of the water. It's high tide right now. At low tide, there's a lot more of that marsh will appear. And I saw this dredge coming, and I said, well, I'm gonna intercept him, get a better look at it. Now, the Pro Platinum, it does have a zoom. You can zoom in a little bit, but it's real robotic looking. You have to push a button, and you can zoom in a couple stops, but you can't really zoom in that far. And like I said, it's not very cinematic zoom. It's more robotic looking. I was pretty far away, about a mile and a half away from where the drone's at right now. That's a wider look. The homes are on the left, and if you went straight, that bay kind of cuts back into the center of the island where a lot of the charter ships are moored. And then if you hang this right, which this ship right here is getting ready to do, it'll take you to the Cape Fear River and the coastal waterway. Well, this is the last of the sweltering days in the Carolinas. The weather's finally broke for fall. We had 3.5 months of solid heat and humidity, but now's a really good time. You'll wake up And every day will be a copy of the previous day. It'll be upper 70s, around 80, no humidity, down in the 50s at night. It won't rain for weeks. It's a great time of the year in the Carolinas in the fall. And a great time to be at the beach. If you like fishing, it's the best time to go fishing also. And here's, like I said, you can go right and you'll hook up with the coastal waterway, or if you veer to the left, that bay goes back in towards the center of the island. And you'll see where I'm standing here in a minute. The Pro Platinum tongue-tied there. The camera is a little bit different, but I think it's almost more of a natural look. I mean, I'm not far from a big camera professional guy. You know, I'm trying to learn about cameras, but it definitely looks like a more natural look to me. The gimbal leaves little to be desired, but it's still a great camera. It really is. Plus, you have more settings than you do with the Air 2. You can adjust the saturation, the sharpness, the contrast. I'm standing right along the bank right here. It's a public boat ramp. There's about 3 or 4 boat ramps. And there's like a little area for fishing and picnicking. And they're bringing this dredge back in. They've been out there. I talked to him. He said he'd been out there since daybreak. There's a museum here, a maritime museum. They found Blackbeard's ship. It's been a couple years ago. It's called the Queen Anne's Revenge. Actually, it was a French ship called the Concorde. Blackbeard took over the ship and renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge. You guys are probably familiar with Blackbeard. He was a pirate. Anyway, part of his ship is in this maritime museum here at the island. I appreciate everybody stopping by and looking at the video. It's the end of summer, but hopefully we're looking to have a good fall ahead of us. I'm looking forward to it after sweating hot, sticky summer. I love it when it's like this, when there's no humidity, still warm enough to go swimming in the daytime, but down in the upper 50s at night. Can finally turn off the air conditioning and open up the windows and get some fresh air. But thanks for stopping by, taking a look at the video. I appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.